See, when people say they want control, what do you think they really mean or are asking for? And how do you take control of your life? First of all, I will say this, that a lot of the element of life, particularly success, is due to chance, time and chance, happening to everybody. So there's a God component that you cannot do without. But outside of that, one of the ways that you can have control, let's even define what control is. Control means that people desire a degree of certainty. If you're entering into a scenario, you are relatively sure of what is going to happen. You're getting on stage, you are in control when you know that I will finish this speech that I'm given and people would give me applause and they will buy from me. Or when you go into a transaction and you're saying, I'm going to win. That is what it feels or mean to be in control. So how do you begin to be in control? What I've learned and what I've seen over time is you become so valuable, you deploy so much, you give so much, you try so much that the quantum of your activity makes potential failure unlikely. So you need to get to that point. Everything you do, if you're a salesperson, for example, and you are targeting to do 5 sales, the way you can actually get a degree of certainty is to call enough people that getting 5 becomes inevitable. If you decide I'm going to call 5,000 potentially qualified client because I just want one person, that quantum of effort is so much that success becomes nearly guaranteed. But the problem is we don't want to do that a lot of time. We don't want to put in that kind of activity, and that is what it takes to succeed. When you do so much that even life itself will give. And that is a way to maintain a sense of control, because you know that with the quantum of activity I'm going to do, with the number of calls I'm going to do, with the quantum of effort, with the time I'm going to spend learning, with the time I'm going to spend in the gym, it is impossible for me not to be healthy. It is impossible for me not to get a sales. It is impossible for me not to achieve my result. The time I'm spending in studying, in writing, it is impossible for me not to have, a best-selling book. And we need to get to that point where we are committed to that quantum of activity that is inevitable. And that is how to have control. But what do we do? People want to have control without exerting that energy, without putting out the energy to life. We tend to think that we can skim through life and then be in charge of our life. We tend to think that we can be lazy at work and we expect a positive outcome in our finances, because everything, life is a flow. What you give here, even if they don't reward you here, you are rewarded in other means. So one way to actually gain control that I would advise you is to commit to doing so much that success becomes inevitable. You know it is guaranteed because you've done everything that is needed, that is required to be done. And that's one way to have control.